saw Sam Smith perform. I've been burning, yes, I've been burning. Oh, such a burden, this pain from my chest.
I did not see that, but oh my gosh, throwback to the Sam Smith concert. That was such a good concert. If only you could have been there.
I have had the privilege of seeing so many live performances in my young lifetime. We have gotten to see Kacey Musgraves 2 times now. Mm-hmm. I've gotten to see so many of my favorite artists, and I guess I'm just a little glutton because I'm like, but I have to see Miley Cyrus. Hello. The fact that Quinn's gone to like an up close and personal intimate Billie Eilish concert is a forever flex, and my forever flex is that I was this close and listening to Charlie Crockett serenade me. It felt very like I was personally receiving this concert with my friends, and that was awesome.
That is awesome. You guys made it very abundantly clear that you were so close that you could see every detail of Charlie as a man.
Magnetic. I'm getting to see him next week again. Woo!
I forgot that. You're seeing him in Seaville?
That would be sick, but no, it's in Richmond.
Oh, okay.
So, just a little drive away.
That's amazing.
For our anniversary. Happy 10 years.
Woo. Happy 10-year anniversary, Riley and Brayden. Oh, our good examples of love.
Love, marriage, commitment, Charlie Crockett.
Yeah,
those
commitment to Charlie Crockett.
Yeah.
I think between the 4 of us, we all agree that Charlie Crockett would be our hall pass for any of us.
Don't say, we are not saying that in a way that is at all to objectify this perfectly decent man.
I mean, a hall pass by having a sleepover, spending the night doesn't even mean anything explicit. Just not creepy feeling of you're spending the night over having a sleepover with a man. It's just like, no, we're friends.
we're associates.
Yeah.
I love that he's been in the press junket more recently, so we get to hear some of his thinking and music making philosophy, if you will. I'm a sucker for that sort of thing.
That just reminded me, I guess I'm still considering, haven't moved forward on listening to the Joe Rogan episode with Charlie Crockett fully because
I have not moved forward either.
Charlie, I mean, I'm sure I can give Joe Rogan credit that he spends enough time with the guests to get a lot of often interesting information out of them.
Yeah. I've never accused
just a simple 3 hours.
Never accused of a speedy podcast. But Quinn and I would love to know what Miley is teasing these days. And we've never seen this, like, the visual album. We've never seen the visual album for Something Beautiful.
Yeah, I think it just came out on streaming services.
Would love to tune in for that.
Wish I would have spent my time doing that instead of watching the season 7 Love Island reunion. I don't want to be too hard on Andy
but I'm with you.
Or Ariana, because I think they're both great and they're great hosts. I don't think it's their fault. I just found it uninteresting. I told my client the other day that I watched it while I was drawing her piece, and I was completely focused on her drawing. So that's how the multitasking wasn't even a challenge. I'm like, what? No, what is happening? Nothing.
Yeah, I do.
Except for racism. That's the one part that, like, thinking back on it, I was like, damn it, Andy did have a good line. By the way, welcome to the Q&R code. Okay, back in. Andy did have a compelling point to Huda when Huda said, I've like done a lot of self-reflecting and a lot of growth, and he's like, oh, you've spent 1 month doing a lot of growth and a lot of self-reflection and you think you're a new person?
I thought that was so good, and it wasn't even like he was reading her that hard. It's just
no, he was very gentle.
She's talking about it in the sense of like, I of course would never do that now. I'm like, why is that obvious to anyone? That was this summer. It's not like we're looking back at like, that's not me anymore. So funny. But also, maybe I like am just ignorant, but watching the show, I did not know that people were talking about like Shelley and Alondria being like cliquey mean girls or whatever. That's not how I felt about the situation, but I also am like, even if that were the case and that was the dynamic that you sensed at all, the way the public response has been to this season, particularly like the Love Island fanfare, I feel like has actually gotten out of control to the point that I am put off from participating, because I'm like, this is so out of line and crazy as things can get on the internet. But just how much, I think what I did get out of the reunion is the cast all talking about like how intense it's been for them in their lives since stepping, basically they go off the show like and step straight into influencer lifestyle and have these huge followings and for some reason incredibly devoted stans. Like all of a sudden people are so ride or die, and that's a weird phenomenon that really is a turnoff for me from the whole thing.
I feel like I don't follow I literally don't follow any of them, and I don't follow closely enough. Like, people have said during the summer, people were like, oh, all my feed is Love Island. It was never that case for me. I think because I wasn't clicking it, because I wasn't watching it, because I was behind everybody, so I wasn't in on it. I do not understand with Huda. I don't even have a particular dislike of her in general. She was never my thing, but I can't
she can twerk
understand.
Like nobody's
she
business.
Can twerk, and that's for
Respect
sure. And she's obviously
that.
beautiful, and I'm sure there are many great things about her and her personality. There were many things I found detracted from me enjoying her as a person on a TV show.
Such a political way to put that.
I don't want to be contributing to the bullying, obviously.
Yeah, of course not.
And I don't know. I feel very aware that I don't know them, and I don't see so much of the behind the scenes. I see the very small bit of their day that gets aired, an hour's worth out of their 24 hours, whatever. But I cannot understand what Alandria and Shelley brought up about the racism, and that it was coming from directly a lot of Huda's fan base, and to not immediately shut that down. I just, there's no excuse of, I was busy, a lot was going on in my life, I had, she could have literally sitting on the toilet for 4 minutes in the morning, when I know damn well she was scrolling on her phone, put up a story saying that. So anyway, that just does really bother me, because I don't feel like, and then that she was like, I was having stuff said about me, like racist about me too, and it's like, you are taking immediately from these black women, deep skin tone, like, they are clearly receiving more racism just by their skin tone and being black than Huda is receiving. That's just, I think, a given, unfortunately. So to this quickly be like, no, I had it too, it's like, then shut it down on all fronts. What?
Yeah, that's the thing to me is it's not even about a comparison between who has it worse, although it is important to acknowledge that colorism definitely exists and plays a big part in how people are received and treated, but also it's just like, yeah, of course, then you should be shutting it down. Everyone should, whether you personally receive that or not. But I think that that is like, yeah, so then, especially if you're my fellow, like, if girly of color and you're receiving that, then I definitely want to feel like that sense of solidarity with you. There's the pressure from the villa dynamic to be like, I love you so much, sisters for life, but you just can tell that that's not the situation there.
Probably don't need to focus
enough.
on that too
Yeah.
long. Moving on.
No, we definitely don't. In fact, I felt like it was focused on too long already in my
Yeah.
life, so
Me too.
stop. Next. Quinny, welcome back. We just returned from our trip to California that, as we said, was for a kind of unexpected and sad situation. However, we got to be with each other and our mom, and she has been on the podcast before. You know that she is part of our little girls trio in our family that we have so much love and support in. So we're able to make those times feel like healing and connecting. And I feel very rejuvenated on those fronts. I do feel less rejuvenated on my sleep hygiene and alertness front, but that's okay. Quinn and I both feel, I'm sure that's true for most people, that a quick turnaround trip like that isn't quite a feeling of being relaxing, but that's okay. It was really nice to see you.
Yeah, it was so nice. I mean, we got to be right by the beach where our parents grew up. It's so special anytime we get to be there, and we got to look at cool art and eat good food and see family. We saw more family than we expected to see, which was so awesome. We got to meet our little twin baby. What are they? Cousins once removed? I'm so bad at this.
I just, a cousin. Let's make a return to just calling anyone that's related that's like not your sibling your cousin.
Anyway.
But they're like 10-month-old little twin boys, and Quinn and I felt right at home with us each having a little twin in our laps.
It's so sweet. Ugh. They were just... I so get like how you must fall in love with your baby when I obviously have the experience
When
with
I
my
fall
animals,
in love with everyone else's.
Yeah, holding the babies and them just putting their soft little head rested up against our cheek and just letting it sit there for a second. I'm like, why does your head feel so soft and smell so good and is so cute? It blows me away.
I will kiss you a million times. Why are you so very sweet? It's the best. I'm so lucky to have babies in my life, and twins have a particular magic about them. You guys already know if you're here listening, but everyone, when you walk by a stroller that's a double wide stroller with twins, aren't you just like, you are lighting up my life right now?
That is how I feel. And Riley and I
feel too.
love to talk to new twin parents, and they're like, oh, did you like growing up as twins? We're like, love. Obviously, everything about it. Best part of my life. Literally the love of my life. My world, my universe. The reason I wake up in the morning.
Magnifique.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
And then Riley and I start telling more than is our fair share of responsibility, and we're like, keep them in the same classes. Let them share a bedroom. Do the same activity growing up.
Yeah. Never make them separate under any circumstances.
Yeah. Same friends, same clothes. Just keep it simple. that works for us.
Yeah, you might just want to go ahead and listen to the Q&R Code podcast.
Yeah.
But in California, Quinn and I got to be in the ocean just a little taste, which is so refreshing, and honestly,
I did avoid my ear. I was an extremely responsible adult.
Yes.
We did not go.
She was a responsible healer.
Which is crazy because Riley and I love the water and we love the ocean. And when we grew up going to this ocean, growing to this part of the world,
Pacific.
the freaking Pacific, it was always either December or like March. Almost always.
Yes.
It was usually spring break. And
that's what I was gonna say.
We would always
water
spend.
Felt like such a delight this trip. I was like, oh, after the whole summer of getting nice and toasty, this is a real privilege.
It felt so good. Literally so easy to get into. No shock factor. Like,
no.
It felt so
when
good
it touches
that
your belly,
I'm
you
like,
weren't like.
If it were up to Riley and I, we would have spent several hours in there. It's not how it worked, and that's okay, and we're so grateful. We got to have a little dip. We got in as far as we could up to our chins, and made it happen, and still, got multiple walks on the beach. Oh my gosh, the amount... If you're a frequent beach walker, your feet and calves have got to be so healthy and strong. Also, do you get Charlie horses all the time? Because... that combined
What's
with
your
the hill walk
routine?
Back up to our place. I don't know if any of you listeners have heard of the Super Friend Calf Smash, but Riley and our brothers and I in college would do the Super Friend Calf Smash. We heard about it from, I don't know, some book or fitness person that Connor knew about.
I thought we made up Super Friend Calf Smash.
It's like in a book that he had. And so you take a roller.
That's so funny.
So you go laying on your back, take a roller. You have to have a friend with you. The friend places your calf on the roller, a super friend, and then they put weight on your leg and roll it back and forth, rocking across the roller.
It's a truly excruciating experience.
Excruciating, but and we so did have impactful.
A safe word. We did have a safe word for if things were actually getting too far, because
no matter what, you would be like, ah. But it feels so good. I need to have Sean do that for me, because waking up with like a calf cramp in the middle of the night from doing, or morning, you're like waking up to your big stretch and then a massive calf cramp.
Yeah. When it
happened the other
you just
the day after we left, I was on the phone with Mom when she was getting up out of bed, and she had one, and just for like a minute and a half was like, ah. So those are the worst.
When I point my toe and try to actually hold it in a point for a while, I will start getting a foot cramp, and I'm like, girl, this is so
I know,
annoying.
growing up a dancer, we could never understand when our friends that weren't dancers or whatever would try to point their toes. First of all, it would be like this, and we're like, point your freaking toe, what are you talking about? But then they would be like, oh my, it's a cramp. We were like, actually, what are you talking about? Because we just grew up from so young doing that.
Yeah, so I feel like it used to be in a way in constant pain, but also like the best in terms of everything that had ever been, but just stretching like constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say that we do not have the gene that is like, oh, we're just like readily flexible, and there are some people that in dance you're like, that is not effortful, you're just stretchy rubber band girl, and that's awesome, but not me. And so stretching was never like, People thought since we danced forever, they're like, oh, and you can just drop into the middle splits. I'm like, no. God. It's
Middle
so
splits
bad.
is crazy.
Middle splits I have to stretch and hold, and I'm laying with my weight pressing down on my hips, and it will never touch ever at all. Like,
No, but
no
we
matter
got to the
what.
point that it used to be just like literally just as much as our anatomy would not allow, but like
Yeah.
2 inches off, and now I'm like, pff, you could crawl under me.
90-degree angle.
No, that's crazy. But
no, but
ugh,
I do have
youch.
like not a stretching regimen anymore, which I absolutely should. And when I've been consistent in yoga since dance has also been when I've felt the best. Yoga, Quinn really popped off with being like, this will cure my mental health and also be a good activity, because yoga is such a happy medium where I get some of that feeling of like strength from dance, but it's also not excruciating.
And you also don't always have to be turned out, like your feet are often parallel, which just feels so much better. But
And I get to wear a cute little yoga outfit instead of my tights and leotard.
I mean,
There were
I
some
think a
beautiful
tights and leotard is
leotards,
so
and-
cute, and honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the ways I feel most comfortable in the world because of us growing up like that. But I mean, they've got to be clean. Ugh, you don't want to put on a crusty pair of tights. Yikes. No. But
Also, they have to be
Clean,
good
fresh,
tights. The
good
difference
quality.
between like an uncomfy pair of tights and a nice one is unreal. And yes, dance supplies are way too expensive.
so
But-
expensive. But our tights would last us really well.
The
Honestly, that sounds so
explain
good
to me
right
the
now.
durability of dance tights when I cannot wear a pair of tights with a skirt without immediate runs. But I'm sliding across the Marley like, what? Why?
Because they just make it such absolutely horrible quality otherwise. I've been doing some ballet myself at home. I do have my little stretch regimen. I really, really miss yoga. A little bit of lore, if you haven't been around here long enough, is that I took a semester of online school in high school. Was it my sophomore? Yeah, my sophomore second.
It wasn't your junior year?
No, it was my sophomore year.
Oh, crazy.
Second semester I took off and got licensed, certified as a yoga teacher, which was the best freaking thing. And I am so glad that I did that and that my parents let me, because I had such a serious mental health struggle at that point and was so desperate to change my life. And that was just so awesome and gratifying for me. And I loved yoga so much and practiced so consistently for years. And I have not been for years now. COVID really turned me away from yoga, unfortunately. But then since then, with just like I graduated college, and the truth is, it's just so hard for me to get to a time that works. Like, and
Yeah.
maybe there's a yoga studio that's closer to me than what I've been able to find that I don't know about, but it's really just the time in the day, because I don't need to tell you guys, you understand. Clearly, everyone's busy. I have a very busy schedule that to try to pack an hour-long thing that then you consider the commute both ends, and yoga is an hour. Like, I never see yoga classes that are just half an hour or anything like that. I just have not been able to fit it in a studio in my day, but I do little bits of yoga at home, but I still rarely do like an hour-long flow myself. I don't have a great place for it. There's frickin' dog hair all over. Like, I just don't have a great setup for that, but I could problem solve and make it happen. So for now, what it is I get home from work and I do my stretches on the floor. But oh my gosh, I miss that. And that's why I've been doing some ballet, because I feel like it's a little bit easier, honestly, for me to just do some like plies. And I've been doing, it's called developpe, right? My brain, I can't even believe. I thought growing up I would never ever forget a single dance term. And now it's been long enough that
it's been 8 years since we've danced consistently.
yeah, which is crazy. But Oh my gosh, or I tried doing a developpe to the frickin' side. I used to think it was horrible that my leg could only go up like 90 degrees because I always wanted to be one of the people that their leg was right next to their ear. Now it's like bring your knee, your toe gets all the way up to your knee, up to this, and then it goes down, like straight point to the floor when you, the hip pain. Oh my gosh. The butt, your butt, how strong your butt has to be?
Yeah.
Even in releve with a passe, crazy.
Bar routine myself the other day, quaking boots. I was just like,
imagine being on point. Like, would be so unsafe right now to do that.
Point is so gorgeous and beautiful, and there are times when you are on point that I'm like, wow, what a gorgeous discipline this is, and we have to accept that not everything is for everyone in this lifetime, and point was not for me. And I think that there is nothing more beautiful than watching ballerinas just absolutely slay out there, but let me tell you, that's rough stuff. And with all the ballet corps that has been for a while now in the zeitgeist, I'm just like, I hope we can actually put some respect on the ballerinas' names, because most people don't know how tough. People are like, dancers always talk about this, and I'm like, it is actually so rigorous to be an incredible dancer. Like,
I feel like most grown people understand that. They maybe don't understand to the point of ever having tried, but they look at it and no one is thinking like, oh, I could do that. Or if you are, like, I just genuinely, you're such a delusional person. It's like the hardest thing. But you know what we should have taken advantage of when we were doing it daily was getting a cute little ballet skirt or something. And I love that the one girl who, if anyone we grew up in dance with listened to this, they would know exactly who I'm talking about, had a couple of her little ballet skirts that she had in rotation and always looked so well put together and had her perfect slicked back bun. I'm like, you know what? You really took pride in that. I mean, she literally grew up to be, she's a professional ballerina in a dance company.
Yeah.
But why did we never do anything cute and fun like that? Oh yeah, you did for a little bit.
I had a period of time where I wore one. But our
leg warmers
strict about dress code. Like, we weren't really allowed to have warm-ups and stuff like some other places were. And then we were
never allowed to wear the shorts or whatever, which I always wanted to wear, the like garbage bag looking shorts.
Fold over. Oh, okay. Or there's the fold over knitted like booty.
Yes, I love those
shorts
too.
That give everything.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't until you were like in advance that you could wear a colorful leotard, and I had this like eggplanty, beautiful,
so pretty on you.
I had that is fun.
A couple maroon leotards,
but an uncomfortable leotard, jail. Like I will never use it if it's uncomfortable. Or I had that one that was very pretty that was like a 3/4 length sleeve with the mesh along the top, but it was nip slip city with that. Like, it was not high enough.
Okay, I am getting so nostalgic, it's actually making me sick right now. I'm like, give me one of those just beautiful, not even a low scoop, just a very gentle scooped, soft 3/4 length sleeve leotard with some black tights and pink ballet slippers on right now. Actually, that's making me like, I have butterflies in my stomach just thinking about that.
Yeah, I have been very serious in wanting to get a pair of the ballet flats or a similar style with the kind of ribbon point shoe, ballet shoe look, because I'm like, that just does feel like a
because
part
we're
of
mourning
me that
our
I
past.
need to reclaim. Like, even if I'm not gonna be a dancer professionally, I still can be in my heart and wardrobe.
I'm so crazy that literally the other day I was like, if we ever did move back to the Jackson area, would I try to be in the dance group that's like the professional dance group in Jackson? I'm like, I am so delusional. I would have to devote myself for years to getting back to that place. But
also just
I just miss it.
It's hard about being adult that when you pick certain lifestyles, like, of course you can try to do it all, but it's like, okay, Gwen, are you gonna be a tattoo artist, a dancer, a horse and dog trainer, and, like, I don't know, it just becomes very
and one of America's
difficult.
Sweethearts, like, there has to be a line.
and
the Q&R code, and the head of the Q&R code. The star of the Q&R code.
The head and the heart.
Yeah. The brains behind. No, but I just really miss it. And even,
Quinn
right,
gets
think
exhausted of being the brains behind the operation.
Yeah, well, people, you know what? No, never mind. Take that back. No one think that, because have we been slack? Here's what I think. I think we have not been slacking on our episodes. I think that we've been making very enjoyable episodes. And
me too.
Have we been slacking slightly on our social media? Yes. And you know what? It's not even really slacking. Guess because what? It's a decision we've had to make. Yeah, we're busy as hell. Should we link our Venmo handles? Does anyone want to donate to us putting together the Q&R code?
If you want to donate, please reach out. We're more than happy.
It's linked in my Tattoo by Quinn bio, my Venmo. So
yeah, you know what, Quinn? We have been slipping more into our stride, I feel, and people should all understand that being consistent on social media and also valuing like less screen time and more being present and all those things is so hard to balance, and we need to give big props to every tattoo artist, small business owner, little startup, whoever, that they're trying to build like an actual, not actual, I shouldn't say that, but like a business that's focused on something else, and all have to do the social media hustle pretty much to sustain themselves as artists or whatever it is, because that is intense, and I don't feel bad though, because we've been doing great. Also, speaking of podcasts, in California, Quinn and I had a chance encounter that was so fun. We were pulling out of a parking lot, and I saw an adorable little baby looking through are the pair of binoculars that are like mounted that you can look through in public places, you know? And then I was like, oh, that's Jaci. If any of you guys know Jaci Marie Smith, she's been a content creator and photographer for a long time and has a podcast that we've talked about what we said. And it was her and her husband and baby. They were all hanging out at this little park area. So we went over and said hello, and it was really exciting because Quinn and I have listened to the podcast since college. Quinn showed it to me, and we love her photos, and her baby is so very cute.
Little redhead.
Little redhead. And yeah, Quinn especially was excited because Quinn's been following her for a long time.
Yeah, a really long time. She was like the first influencer I followed, I think, and definitely the one influencer I have kept up with the most, just like consistently listen to their podcast. Even if I'm not every week, I like have gone back and listened through if I go a few weeks without it or whatever. And just, yeah, she's just a great vibe, and she's so good. She's like, who knows if anyone listening would know about that. She had the thing with Kendall Jenner that I feel like more people know about her through. I don't even feel like I need to give context for that. Anyway, it was really so fun getting to see them. We were just, I couldn't believe Riley's like, oh, there's JC and Betty and Leif. I'm like, what are you talking about? And there they were, and I felt really brave going up to them because we're like, it is funny having the online part of what's it called? What are those relationships called? What's it called?
Parasocial?
Yeah. Parasocial relationships, because it's like, I know you're not really aware of me, but I'm obviously very informed on you and your family.
Because you don't want to like not address someone by their name because you're like, I obviously know it, but I know you don't know me.
But they were super cool and nice, and that was just such a fun and special thing, being like, whoa, what are the odds? Like, I didn't know if I would ever in my life end up meeting them. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So that was really fun.
A Southern California situation, because Quinn and I are like, yeah, so rare for there to be someone that I like have known of through the internet in these parts. I guess in Denver, you have, Quinn has been spotted in Denver, but she's a bit, of a local legend.
Oh, yeah. Legend status. Everyone knows Quinn, the local Denver legend. So, okay, let's talk about the beginning of the trip. So, it's the morning, packing up for my trip.
This isn't gotta be concise.
What else do you want to talk about?
No, we can still talk about it. I'm just saying.
I have a bathroom horror story to tell, so that's where I'm going with things.
Okay.
And I don't usually find bathroom humor very funny, and who knows if I'll end up enjoying the story that I tell. It might make me uncomfortable. But we started off...
It was all uncomfortable.
We started off with an early morning, of course, for our flight to get to California, and... that just never makes the body feel good. Makes, Riley and I both got 4 hours of sleep before that. And I often travel with a backpack. So this time, but we have slightly bigger backpacks that will be where we put all of our clothes and everything, not just our personal item. That will be our carry-on. But this flight that we booked, I didn't have...
I booked Quinn the bare minimum basic ticket, so
I had no carry-on
bag and really no rights.
Or whatever, no personal item, whatever. So it's just you
don't
get a
even
purse
have
or a
a
backpack.
seat unless you're lucky.
Yeah. So anyway, I was wearing my ginormous, heavy backpack. Thankfully, on the way there, I didn't have a ton of stuff in it, but still, it just is heavy. Having stuff down on your back. So I had that, and I get into one of the DIA stalls that's already, in the terminal, and because I was like, oh, thank goodness this opportunity has arose that I need to go to the bathroom, and I'm not just talking about that I have to pee. This is great, because oftentimes I'll start a trip and I can't poop for the first couple of days. It really affects me. So I'm like, okay, I have got
my pleasure.
I have, but at the same time, what I like about that is not having to poop in public, in the airport, in DIA. This time I was like, oh, I'm glad for myself bodily function wise. I obviously need to get this done before being on the airplane. That's not happening. I'm just freaked out. Being in public bathrooms is not my safe haven. I don't like them. I'm every time touching anything, I'm touching as little surface area as possible. I often have grab some tissue paper or toilet paper to even turn the knobs. I never touch a toilet or toilet seat. It's always material between me and that, whatever it may be. But
I just pictured you putting on a pair of your tattoo latex gloves.
That's what I should bring, a little box of that just feeds out of my backpack. But it came the time. Business had to be accomplished, and I hate talking about this. I literally. And so I get into this stall, and first of all, I'm like, there is so many problems with how tiny these stalls are. First of all, it is impossible. You have to do the
I'm in with me
skinny
and all
man.
of my luggage.
Yeah, you have to literally do the skinny man to even fit through the door. Like, God forbid you're a person
The protruding toilet paper holder is like
Yeah.
in your thighs.
So you have to be so careful not to run your luggage up against the toilet or up against the door. I don't want it up against the door either. There's obviously no lids on those toilets. So guess what happens every time they flush? They spray everywhere. So I try to touch as little surface area as possible. My backpack was a problem. Okay, so I have like my sweatshirt that I didn't put in my backpack because it's an accessory item and I could like at least just loop it through the top. I have my full Stanley bottle that I just filled up. Okay, not one of the ones with
this
the sip
backpack
top
doesn't.
though.
No.
Come on, people.
No.
But yeah, there's
this
no cup
backpack
holders.
doesn't have cup holders.
Which this backpack is awesome. We've had it for years and got so much use. But this time it occurred to me because usually one of us, at least, if we're traveling with like me and Sean, he'll have that, and one of us will have a roller that we'll put our like purse strapped on top of that we can like set our water bottles and stuff. So this time I was like, oh dang it, like what am I gonna do? So I figure out like strapping everything on there, and I'm in the stall. I'm
Lashing
literally
it
like
down.
sweating, panicking because I had it on my back. It would have been ginormous for me. What, I'm going to hold it on my front? Like, I had it on my back, got into the stall, turned around, took it off, and the hanger for my backpack, which there's no like sill, there's no shelf that anything could be set on, even if I saran wrapped it. Like, there's no freaking shelf I could set anything on. And the hanger on the door is 1.5 inches long, which my backpack, the top of it is not built for this. Like, the lip, I'm like, why is the lip the size of a Tic Tac? Like, give me a hook that I can hook my shit on. Like, why? This might as well be a doorstop. What is it there for? It's not helpful. So I like finesse literally everything so carefully and gently, and I like stop breathing so there's no movement in the stall whatsoever. And obviously the toilet seat I've got completely covered. It's like there's nowhere that can touch my skin. And I like go to like slowly sit down, and I try to take a deep breath because I still have to like center myself to be able to even poop. Like, I feel bad. I don't want to be pooping around anyone. And I'm like a few moments in, and literally my backpack just bam crashed down to the floor. The whole thing just hits, literally loudest sound echoes through the bathroom, and there goes all my hard work, and everything has touched the floor. And I just like jump off the toilet as quickly as possible and pick things up. And yes, literally then on my lap had to be just like holding everything up so no straps would like fucking touch anything. And then imagine me trying to wipe. I like have to shimmy an arm through, one arm like literally kinking my neck permanently for the whole trip to be able to then like with one hand grab a wad of toilet paper big enough to wipe. It was a horrible way to start the trip.
Okay, well, once you got there with that story, that was really funny. It was like hilarious because I know the exact backpack. You guys have to picture like a big turtle shell.
Yeah.
It's not just like a school backpack. Like, it's designed to be also a carry-on, and oh my gosh. Well, it is criminal, especially in the airport when it's like a guarantee that you have stuff with you, but in general, I was at a restaurant the other day, and they have like a public bathroom, or just, for the patrons, and there was no hook, no table, no shelf, nowhere to set a thing. And I'm like, people carry bags. You might have a coat. There's just no reason why there shouldn't always be a good accessible hook and surface to set things on. And
There is no reason.
And some airports I'm like, are we acting like I'm gonna abandon my stuff all outside the stall till I come back and get it, when you guys are the ones over the loudspeakers being like, do not keep an eye, or do not
leave anything
ever,
unattended.
yeah, keep an eye on your luggage at all times. It's like, hey, then it's coming with me, so plan accordingly.
But I knew I would get through it because I knew I was on my way to see you. And then I saw you. I got through it. It was fine. You know, I imagined myself having little scatter feed and came down from that. And then we did
Scatter
go
feed in the bathroom.
No, once washing my hands, I scatter fed myself just from my clean hands. But then once we got off the plane and met up with my mom, we did go to the coolest, craziest dispensary we've ever been to. As soon as we checked in, they offered us their beverage bar of complimentary on-tap kombucha and cold brew. So, you know, between Riley and I, we did have a cup of each. It was awesome.
Yeah. It was like good cold brew too. And just a little cup. Oh, thank you. And it was very cool in terms of the inside. Had fish.
There was a literal shark, you guys. A live
There's a shark.
Yes, it was only 1.5
shark?
feet long, but we were 5 inches away from a shark in a ginormous
And
tank.
it was so adorable. Quinn and I don't know about the ethics of fish keeping, so I won't begin to speak to that, but they are beautiful and a pleasure to see, and that's all I have to say about that. There were really good brands there, and Quinn and I did indulge in a few purchases, one of which was a menthol cigarette, if you will, but not of the tobacco variety. And
it's a little pre-roll that was actually good, actually smokes well, actually good quality.
Yeah.
And that was very
It's just
fun.
like, imagine if on the inhale there's like the subtle mint essential oil, or just like, that sounds too potent, just like a minty, fresh vibe instead of just a smoke flavor. So
yeah,
I
works
understand
for
why
me.
people are into that, and I liked that. And Quinn and I also, this wasn't the same day, but we got to try, speaking of young Jaci Marie, the Coffee Dose collab with her podcast, What We Said. They do a little matcha beverage that was a delight. And if you are in the Southern California area, I thought that was not, because, you know, when you've only seen something online, you don't know, is that going to be so delicious, or is it going to be a little bit overhyped? Because Quinn and I are drink aficionados, if you will, and have definitely paid for coffee beverages that felt like not so awesome. That I thought was really good.
We got iced oat milk matchas. That's, I think, how it comes. And we got half of the syrup, which I think was a great decision. And then their signature, the like Valley Girl latte, blueberry marshmallow cold foam, which I won't lie, I thought it was adorable the whole time, but thinking about it with marshmallow, I was like, that does make me a little worried because I don't love a super, super sweet thing, but us getting half the syrup and then having that on, I thought it was yummy and fun. Who doesn't like to see the beautiful green matcha with a little bit of a pale blue cold foam coming in? I mean, it was great.
Of course it's a sweet treat, but I'm okay with a sweet treat. What else was I gonna say? Oh, I guess just to briefly recap of going to an art festival, that is something that Quinn and I have done with our mom since we were little kids, with our brothers, going to the art fair with her and just are a big part of our lives, as you guys know. And so my mom worked at this art festival when she was a teenager in high school and has still friends that have worked there that whole time. And getting to reconnect with him and talk about some memories together and his longtime friend and business partner that was also in our lives for since we were born. And he passed away a little while ago, so it was just nice to connect with people like old friends and family that we don't get to see very often, and being in person with them. And now Quinn and I are at also an age in our lives where it feels like things are so much more in focus. We always had these people in our lives that we've loved so much, but as a kid with people that you're only seeing every few years or something, that's sometimes harder to really like grasp the touch points, I feel like. And this visit just being fully in our what's it called, our prefrontal cortexes have started to really come in strong and fully, and I feel like I just appreciated that side of the trip so much.
Yeah, it was really special, even though once again, like, the reason we went there, it wasn't for just a fun girls trip, but we were really there to help our mom, and our mom was like, the best thing you could possibly do for me is bring smiles into this space and us enjoy ourselves. So we did do some work, but we ended up mostly having quality time together, and it always still feels busy with the errands you end up doing. And we got to have our dog Fletcher there because my mom drove, so that was special, getting to be with our older dog Fletcher. And
sweet boy.
Anyway, we're really lucky to be able to make a kind of last minute, spur of the moment trip like that work, to be able to see family. And I just think that with loss in general, like, we've experienced quite a few losses in our lifetime, and several within the span of the last month, and I feel really grateful for the way that our family takes that. I feel like we have practiced grieving, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but now we're to the point with grieving, and of course there would be certain people that it's like, don't even get me started, don't even bring up. Riley and I will die together. The day we die together. Anyway, I'm just really proud.
We're at a really healthy place with that, as you guys can tell.
We don't talk about it. I'm really grateful our family is able to see things and just appreciate, like, we all live really based on gratitude and being present together, and we take that time together very seriously, and really have just, with every loss in our lives, we have even more so felt pushed to, like, we need to take life by the horns and enjoy our moments together and not take special times for granted, because this is funny to wrap it back around to this, but I just saw a reel with Rainn Wilson, and I don't know who's the character that plays Andy in The Office, and they talked about his quote that's like, Andy says, you usually don't know that you're living your golden years until you're already out of them. And I just have been thinking a lot about that, and I think that so much of life is going to feel like our golden years, but I don't want to take time with my loved ones and on this beautiful planet for granted, because time is not guaranteed.
Well, that is such a beautiful sentiment that I feel like I should just leave it right there and pass that along for you all for your day. Thank you for spending your precious life and time with us whenever you can, and we'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.